Hi there. Today we're diving into something that many men experience in silence. And that's this feeling of being stuck in midlife, especially in the area of career. And wondering if maybe you've missed the chance to do something truly meaningful in your life. You probably built a solid career. You've been in the job for a while. You have a great life. Maybe you've raised a wonderful family and you've paid your dues for sure. But now, something feels off. Something's not right. You wake up and you wonder, is this all there is? You're not broken. I want to, first of all, assure you of that. You're not alone and it's not too late. In fact, what you've experienced could be a very powerful signal, a waking up, if you will, that it's something you've been waiting for. It's an invitation for a deeper, more fulfilling second act or next stage, next chapter, however you want to frame it. This is for you if you're feeling the weight of your career, the dissatisfaction, that inner restlessness or that yearning for something more. But you're not really sure what is the more. So I'm going to walk you through 5 clear signs that you're ready for purpose career pivoting. And these are going to be some real world examples, and we're going to talk about what to do about it. So let's dive in. If you're one of those people who's in the situation where you dread Mondays, even if the job pays well, it could be Sunday evening, you're a bit anxious, right? Let's be honest. If you wake up and there's that pit of the stomach kind of heaviness on Monday morning, that's not just stress. I want you to think of this as a soul level misalignment. Something at a deeper level is not working. You might be earning a solid 6-figure salary and even have the respect of your peers and considered successful from all the outside world looking in. But deep down, you feel like maybe you're living someone else's life, someone else's dream, that this is no longer for you. One of my clients, a corporate lawyer, 27 years in, was well compensated for sure, had the title, was doing all of the right things, but he realized he'd rather be doing anything else. He'd look out the window of his office and imagine just walking away and never coming back. And this is a sentiment I hear a lot from clients. It's a huge sign that your career may no longer fit with who you've become, or frankly, who you are becoming, because midlife is about a new becoming. So paying the bills matters, absolutely, yes it does, but so does your mental well-being, your mental health, the connection to your spirit, just that sense of joy. So if you've lost passion, then you've definitely lost motivation. And you maybe were in a position where you really cared about your work. You used to bring your energy and your ideas to work all the time. You were the bright light in the crew. Now, you're zoning out during meetings, you're checking the clock, you're fantasizing about retirement. And let me assure you that retirement is not a panacea for what you're going through right now, but making a pivot is. And let's be clear, this isn't about laziness. You're looking out your window, you're being distracted, you're thinking about something else. And it's not burnout from overwork. This oversimplification of, oh, you must be burnt out. No. If it's any kind of burning out, it's the burnout from being out of alignment with your purpose. Passion is your compass, and when it disappears, it's trying to tell you something. If you're going to work on a regular basis with no passion, yeah, something is amiss. Think of the marketing client whose creative brilliance over a period started to feel like he was just creating more noise. His example of wanting his skill to be actually used to help people, not just to push products. This is typical of the stuff that you may find yourself going through. When your work no longer connects to your values, that's when motivation really wanes. And let's be clear, this isn't about failure. This is a really hard clue for you. And here's the other thing. We keep saying later, maybe next year, maybe once I hit 60, maybe once I paid the kids' way through college. I hear this all the time, and it probably sounds familiar to you. This someday kind of thinking is the biggest lie we tell ourselves in midlife. And look, I get it, because we all know that change is scary. But the truth is, later never happens. So think of the man who's been saying later for 15 years and wanted to become a consultant and help small businesses, but fear, doubt, and comfort held him back. And he stayed in his routine, his system of going through the motions, that autopilot living. But when he got out of his own way with coaching support, he realized that the real block, it wasn't about money at all. It was simply about his own belief. Now, midlife can either be a turning point for you, or it can be a trap. It can feel like and be a cage. So the choice is really yours. You may look successful on paper and you feel empty inside. And this is hard because there's a guilt that comes with that, because out there, they're seeing you as the ideal. Inside, you're feeling like a fraud and maybe feeling guilty about how you're feeling. And this one hits really hard because from the outside, yeah, it all looks amazing. You've got the house, you've got the family, the cars, the reputation. Inside, no, there's something missing. You've achieved everything that you were told you were supposed to pursue, told by society, told by your family, told by that inner voice, and yet something still feels off. This is often where we get this midlife crisis misdiagnosis, because that's not what it is. And it's not about you going out and buying that new fancy sports car. Go ahead and do it. If you think that's going to make you feel better about your situation, it will not. Because we know those purchases have a fleeting moment of ecstasy and then they drop and you're back to where you were. You need, frankly, to rediscover meaning. Carl Jung called this the afternoon of life. So in the morning of life, that's where we're chasing our achievement. That's when we're building the names, the titles, and all the stuff, right? The afternoon, however, asks for depth, for purpose. It asks for soul connection. And that's what you're experiencing now. Success without fulfillment is really a slow death. And many men suffer quietly, thinking that they should just be grateful. But let's be really clear. Grateful will not settle what you're going through. Being grateful is a great starting point. Gratitude is the fertilizer for change. And here's the last point. You crave meaning, but you don't seem to know what might be next for you. Think of this as the space between the stories in your life, or the space between the chapters. And you're not sure where that next one is going to lead you. You know the old path is done, but you can't yet see that new one. And this is where most men, well, they panic, or maybe they simply go numb and dissociate. And we see this a lot. This in-between space, and that space of not knowing what's next, I want you to consider this as sacred. This is something really powerful. You can use the metaphor of the cocoon. So you're in the cocoon phase and you don't know what that transformation is going to look like, right? How you're going to make your way out of that cocoon. But with the right support, this is the brilliant opportunity for you. And this is where coaching can make a huge difference. I had a client who was in tech and he didn't have a job that he hated so much, but it did feel hollow for him. And so he dug in deep in doing this work with me and came out the other side of it with mentoring young men. In 6 months of us working together, he had transitioned into a leadership and development facilitation expert. So now he wakes up and feels wonderful every day about how he gets to serve and change people's lives. This is the stuff of midlife. This is the stuff of change. It's a power of purpose-driven reinvention that's really, really amazing here. And that's what I help clients to achieve, this purpose-driven pivot. So let me ask you this in closing. Are you feeling stuck, uninspired in your current job situation, career? Are you tired of going through the motions? It just feels like, that Groundhog Day effect, one day after another, living for the weekends, maybe even living to go to the cottage or cabin or on that weekend getaway just to let go of the work-life drudgery. Are you ready to figure out what's next and to build a second act that's aligned with who you really are, who you are becoming. And that becoming part is really, really key to this work. If you answered yes to any of these, then it's time. It's time to stop drifting. It's time to stop procrastinating. It's time to stop numbing. It's time to start a life and career that actually means something to you. I work with midlife men who are ready to take that step, who are done with settling, and they're really ready to start thriving again. And for those who are serious about making that change, I offer what I call the quiet pivot. It's not about blowing up your life and chasing trends. Absolutely not, because that will just take you back in the cycle and you'll end up right where you are now. It's about making a powerful inner shift, quietly, intentionally, in a way that reconnects you with purpose, or maybe connects you with purpose for the first time, so that you can achieve fulfillment and you can achieve the direction that you are seeking on some deep level. In a future video, I'm going to break down the quiet pivot and how it works. But for now, if you're ready to explore what's possible, I'd like to invite you to book a free clarity call with me. There's no pressure here. There's no hard sell. It's just a meaningful conversation that can steer you in a manner that brings a bit of clarity, looks at some of the things that are getting in your way, and will leave you feeling very energized at the end. The link is in the description below. Remember, you're not too old. It's not too late. You're at the exact right time. You are hearing this message right now for a reason. Remember that, feel that, act on that, and let's build something extraordinary. I look forward to speaking with you soon.